What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to episode 32 of Domiciled, the podcast that explores the subculture of truck drivers as well as logistics professionals, bringing their stories to the masses. I'm your host, Scott Cleary, and before we get kick things off, let's talk about our favorite colorful recruiting rodent, Purple Squirrel. So Purple Squirrel represents freight agents, freight brokerages, and freight forwarding companies. If you'd like to earn more, reduce your liability, and grow your career, you should talk to Ryan Smith over at Purple Squirrel about becoming an independent agent. They represent multiple broker and forwarding companies, allowing them to provide you with several career offers, as you know from listening. So you have options. Let them advocate on your behalf. So let's approach the elephant in the room real quick. Obviously, Paul's not here because he apparently has something better to do. I don't know, some work thing. But anyways, he couldn't make it, so I'm here going solo tonight. I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to monologue a bit. There is something I do really want to talk about as well. I was going to post this on LinkedIn, but didn't for a couple reasons. But I just got to come out and say, I think I mentioned this on another episode that I was going, but I just got back from Pebble Beach. I went with my dad. I think I'd mentioned this, but either way, it's a dream. It was a dream of mine for a long time, like probably about 10 years since he had brought up that it was somewhere he really wanted to go. He felt that the area of Carmel was calling to him, and he felt that one day when he passed into whatever's next, that he'd be, quote, walking Pebble Beach. And that stuck with me for, again, over a decade when I didn't have two nickels to rub together. So being able to take my dad to Pebble Beach and get to the point in my life where I got to do that for somebody that I care about, that I love so much, it was a pretty incredible experience. So, Mom, don't worry, you're next. Just Dad was up on the list. It made sense to do it now. We did it. Don't worry, I got you covered at the right time. But I digress. I just can't believe that it's something that I did, that it was something I was able to do. To actually, I think it was the first time in my life that I realized an actual dream. Like, I'm very lucky and blessed that I own a home. Right? I got a great job. I got people that I care about, that people I love, people that love me. But being able to do something like that was essentially a pipe dream when I was a kid, probably 22 or so. To be able to do that and pay it forward or a little bit, or give back, or just show appreciation for somebody, one of a few people in my life who were just so important to me, was surreal. Just being there, surprising him with it, doing it top of the line with him. And, the reason I'm not posting this on LinkedIn is because, I don't know, it just feels like you can't say or do anything without frustrating anybody lately. And at the same time, I do realize where I was, and it's a very privileged place to be. I'm very lucky to be able to go there. Obviously, anybody who knows about it knows it's not something inexpensive, and I also know that there's a lot of people out there having a tough time. So, it's been an interesting few years. So I figured, rather than putting it all over the internet, even though it was for the right reason and something I'm proud of, I'd put it here where, perhaps more, perhaps less people will see it. I don't know. But it's just something I still had to talk about and was so excited to do. It was absolutely incredible. If it's something that you've thought about doing and you're worried like you're not a good enough golfer, or the money or the time, just go ahead and do it, because no less than 2 or 3 other people told me when I told him what was going on. And he was even bragging a little bit like, yeah, he brought me. But one of the guys we golfed with when we played Spyglass, he was a few years older than me. I'm 34. I think he was just turned 40. And when he was about my age, he lost his dad. I think his dad passed at 64. And that's how old my dad is now. So I think I had already been thinking about that. And then to hear that while I'm there with my dad, when he was even trying to talk me out of doing it right now, just for various reasons and various topics that a parent would. And I was like, no way, like, I'm not doing this. It was kind of profound in that moment. It was right in the middle of the trip too. So just an incredible time. If you're thinking about doing it, and again, you're worried about money, again, I put the money aside a year ago. So it was a few bucks. I definitely suggest saving up a bit. But if you can swing it, or there's somebody you want to go with, or somewhere you've cared to go and just haven't done it yet, or just a place you think would be beautiful, it's just as incredible as everyone says. It's worth every penny. Definitely get a caddy. We got lucky with ours. Shout out Marky Mark. It was just the best. And I also need to shout out real quick before I forget. I got to shout out Nick Klingensmith at Stride Motivation for, I I utilize his coaching services. He's a good friend of mine, but I also utilize his coaching services, and he helped me put a lot of things into perspective. And how I want to wrap this little piece up here is, it's being a remote sales guy is difficult, right? Being remote anything is difficult. Again, we're lucky. We work at our homes. I got my little home office here. I walk out, my kitchen's there, my living room's there. But being on an island in a way is difficult. And especially again in a independent contributor role where you're tied to a number. And when you go through the tough times, or when the job's just frustrating you, or whatever's going on, like it does for any of us, being at a place like that really put into perspective why I have the job I have. I perform the work I do. I perform the tasks that I don't want to perform because I'd rather be doing, literally anything else, probably, just because that's what humans are. And we all love our jobs. I'm grateful for my job. Revenue was friggin' awesome. But to say that you never have a down day or a down stretch of just when you're in your own self, that really helps put into perspective. So to that point, figure out your why, remind yourself of your why, and don't be afraid to spend the money you work your ass off to make. Excuse me, said that wrong, was going on a perfect little rant there and just ruined it. But don't spend all the time working and not enjoy your life, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Spend some money, do things with people you love. Experience are more important than things. And everybody who I talk to who is a senior citizen, I always try to bring that up. We golfed with a few a couple of weeks ago, and they all say that, like, watches just tell time. Cars just get you to A to B. All those things are great, but experiences are more important. So do them with the people you love. That's my rant. But before she's sweating too much and ready to just get out of here because I'm taking too long, I'm going to bring in our next guest. Yes, another gal, another lady in logistics. So our next guest is someone that I've personally stayed in touch with on LinkedIn for a minute. I guess our algorithm synced up one day, and the rest, as they say, is history. And while we've only met in person once at a TIA San Antonio this past April, which was a blast, by the way. If you didn't go, you missed out. Lots of water slides, lots of golf, some work too. But anyways, I'm a big fan of hers and her LinkedIn content. She's absolutely herself. She juxtaposes life and work with fitness, shares some tasty recipes, ask her about the triple chocolate cheesecake, which I haven't made yet, Ashley. I know you can hear me, but I haven't made it yet, but I'm definitely gonna. And last but certainly not least, her freight stories, which is, of course, the biggest reason we have her here today. I'm so excited to have this lovely lady on the show tonight. What's good, Ashley Smith? Thanks so much for joining. Where'd you go?
Hello.
Oh, there we are. I screwed up the layout.
You're good. I'm here.
Awesome. Yeah, I have you now. I must click something. I don't know what I'm doing. I just make this up as I go. But and usually, like, I had somebody make this layout for me, and it's usually three of us, so it fits fine. Right now, our heads are a little cut off, but that's okay. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm fantastic. You just heard me go on my diatribe there real quick. I open up a little can of happiness right here. Get a little hydration going.
Love some Coke Zero.
Well,
hard to get when you travel.
I know. I'm so happy when I do find it, though. Yeah, so a few things we're going to talk about today. Also, it's Thursday night football, so we don't want to keep you from that. Not sure if you're probably not a Bills or a Dolphins fan, or I don't even know if you're a football fan. Are you?
I have a football in my background, but
you do? Okay, top rookie.
Not a huge fan.
Okay.
Yeah, that was an award.
An award.
Yeah.
Very nice. So top rookie. What rookie at?
It was my first quarter being a solutions engineer.
Oh.
So obviously a football was super fitting. Very fitting.
Right. Is that over that TMS that will not be named, or?
It was at a separate TMS.
Ah, got it. No, I'm just messing. You can always throw it out. We all know each other's background and stuff. So
small world, yeah.
It sure is. So I'm really happy that we connected because we were chatting before the show, and like I said, like I said in the intro, I've really connected with your LinkedIn posts. A lot of them are pretty funny. I'm a bit of a gym rat myself, so I always like to check out what other people are doing and seeing. Like, I don't do the CrossFit stuff, like the power lifts and all that. Like I'm in there. I work hard. I do, the big three. I perform the big three, but like throwing it around is beyond me. So that stuff's impressive. What got you into it?
Yeah. I got into CrossFit in college, actually. I saw some videos of like one of the first CrossFit games online,
Okay.
and I had always done dance and ballet. I was actually my first semester in college, I was a dance major, so I
Okay.
could have gotten a degree in ballet, but I had just switched majors, so I didn't have anything physical, and I was like, I need that physical outlet. I want to stay in shape.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I thought, why not try the hardest thing I see?
Yeah.
So yeah, as a college kid over the summer, I started up, they had their intro classes, which were at 5:30 a.m. So as a college
You
kid,
were
it was
committed.
like
30.
a big deal. Yeah.
That's a
So
very
that's how I
big
got
deal.
into it for sure.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And you stuck with it ever since. I won't ask you how many years, because you'll date yourself, do that with a lady, but
In
you've
a while.
been a
I've been
minute.
doing CrossFit longer than most people have known it was a thing.
There you go.
And then along the way, like I'm really good at the lifting, the Olympic lifts, and
Mm-hmm.
I took some years to just do Olympic lifting and some competitions there as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, I loved competing. I loved competing in CrossFit, and then competing in Olympic lifts is I would say a lot harder just because you're up there, you got your 1 minute clock, you're up there on the platform by yourself, you do your
Mm-hmm.
lift, you either screw up in
Make
front of everyone or
Yeah.
make it, and you only get three
Yeah.
attempts.
So you have
So
1 minute for
that was a
3
lot of fun.
attempts.
No, so they go up in weight, right? So they
Okay.
are always loading the bar. So you say like, this is the weight that I'm going to start at. That's
Right.
the only thing you really have to put in at first.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, depending on how that first lift goes, they'll
Mm-hmm.
say like, you either want to reattempt that weight if you missed it, or you can go out by like 1 kilo, 2 kilo. I mean, you can go up however much you want, but all of their lifts are done in order. So like this whole group of people says, this is where I want to start.
Mm-hmm.
And once they go up, you can't go back down. So if you say,
Right.
shit, like I missed that first lift,
Mm-hmm.
you got to just retry that weight. You can't go back down and try a lower weight. So that's a lot of pressure.
And once you start, like, when does the clock start? And it doesn't reset for anything, right?
Yeah, so the clock just starts. They say
Mhm.
you have a minute. You could be walking up on the platform, you could be on the platform, but like as soon as you like touch that bar,
Okay.
you have a minute to complete this lift.
The one left. Okay.
Right, and then you do your one lift. What's really annoying and nerve-wracking is the first competition I did, we weren't prepared for this. My starting weight was the heaviest weight that anyone was going to lift that day. And so I had to go back to back to back. Yeah,
Yeah.
we weren't prepared, right? So like that 1 minute
Yeah.
clock bleeds right into the next minute. And like, it's just like, if you miss that first lift, you're like, oh my God, like I have no time to like go and like recuperate or like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like get your mind right for the next lift. So it's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Okay. Got it. And that sounds pretty intense. I didn't know the clock worked like that or any of that. I've just seen people like doing crazy lifts. You're like, oh crap.
Right.
So what's your favorite lift? And what's your least favorite lift?
I mean, I could just be a jerk and say like my favorite lift is the snatch because it's really hard and nobody can do it and you got to be really flexible and strong.
Okay. I
um,
respect it.
but I love squatting, anything squatting. I mean, the things that you're really good at, right? I'm really good at
Yeah, sure.
squatting, really good at snatches.
Mm-hmm.
Like clean and jerk as well.
Mm-hmm.
Least favorite lift is pressing.
Okay.
Deadlifts, very close. Deadlifts, very close.
Really?
It's
For
just
all
so
the leg stuff you
heavy.
like,
So heavy.
what's
Like
your
if you're
heaviest
like
deadlift?
if you want to build, it's not as impressive as it should be, but it's like 250. Okay.
That's solid.
Okay,
You don't
it's
see a lot of
good. But
ladies
like
pulling 250. That's a lot of
but like
weight.
my back squat is like 245. So I
That's
just
that's
I
45.
don't
Nice.
like I don't like pushing on the
Mm-hmm.
deadlifts because you get up to a certain point and you're like, it's just so heavy. Like my
It is.
hands hurt, like to
Sure.
get heavy enough to like work your hamstring.
Do you wear straps? When you say your hands are like, do you wear straps or
I
no?
used to, yeah. So I used to,
Okay.
whenever it was like Olympic lifting, like training for that is
Right.
really monotonous. And it's a lot of like, here's your pulling day, here's your squatting day, here, like,
Yeah.
so there were multiple days where it was just heavy pulls. And I would definitely
Tough.
wear straps for that. Now I don't feel like I do enough volume to really need it. I do the over under, or if I'm hook gripping, if I'm, going overhead.
Yep.
But don't really see a need now. I got nice calluses, but
Some good
not
calluses.
really
There we
wearing
go.
out my hands. Yeah, not
Yeah, there
wearing
you
out.
go. Show the calluses off. So I
Yeah, we
so
gotta
I will
trim them.
say I'm just like a regular old gym rat, like not no powerlifting or like I said, no CrossFit stuff. I've done like a couple Spartan races with my buddy Nick that I mentioned earlier, but I do use straps. So I use it's funny, like for all I guess because for me it's like I'm not going for any kind of form or I mean obviously I keep good form and I lift a certain way, but like it's not like a CrossFit type lift or it's not like again, I guess I'm not I'm not worried so much about strength. It's more just for the overall physique. But like for me, like if I'm doing like a single lap, like a dumbbell lat pull, right? What can I
Mhm.
hold with my hand? Probably 20 pounds less than what I can pull with me,
Yeah,
right? So like,
that's the
if I'm gonna
limiting
right,
factor right there. Yeah.
right, which is and grip strength's important. But again, for me, if I'm just going for aesthetics, it's like just give me the power to the muscle. But there are things I do make myself do with grips, but I really do believe like I'm a fairly big guy just naturally, but like my grip strength could definitely be better. Like I really think it could because I don't know, like I don't like you said like your best deadlift was 250. I imagine that was with or without straps.
Without.
Yeah, see, like
And
okay, so
I will say, I like to say all of my current maxes because
hmm,
there was a time when I was like really into it, really competitive, that some of my maxes were higher than
they
what
were
they
real
are
low.
today. So
Okay.
I just use current maxes. So I'm
Oh.
not, posturing with my,
Let's
well,
posture. You
when I
posture and
was
I'll posture a little
competitive.
too. Yeah, when you were competitive, let's hear it. I wasn't competitive, so let's see how we match up. I'll go first.
Okay.
My heaviest deadlift attempted, I've done five sets of 3 reps at 315. So I've like never maxed
Okay.
anything. But so
Mhm.
go. I postured, you posture.
Okay. Heaviest deadlift is not that much higher. It's 265, but
Okay.
still pretty
That's
heavy
solid.
for
That's heavy.
me. Yeah. My heaviest
There's
back squat is right around there as
okay.
well.
So that's your heaviest
Yeah.
265 on the back squat. Okay. How about the
Yeah.
again, I don't know a lot about the jerk and the clean and all that fun stuff. The clean and jerk is where you go from all the way from the bottom, go
Further
up, and then
down
even you go overhead. Yeah,
overhead.
okay. So what's your highest there? That's a posture because that's tough, like you said.
Okay.
Strength, flexibility,
100.
balance.
Yeah. 100 kilos, which is like 225.
220. That's more than I weigh right now. Yeah, that's 15 pounds of me. So you've from the floor squatted, like
Yes.
deadlifted down, pulled it up
Yep.
immediately to here, and
Shoulders
squatted down and then pushed it back up.
overhead. Yeah.
Yeah, in one
There's some
clean
videos
motion.
of that. There's videos of me screaming and throwing a little baby fit when I miss a lift and
Fair.
screaming when I got a lift. I
Right.
sometimes
I could
just
I
do that.
yeah. I mean, I yell at myself like, and I've gotten better, but like I give myself crap when I play golf. So I can only imagine if I was like powerlifting and like miss something because your adrenaline's just flying
So
with all the
mad.
weight. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, so I get that. I can imagine why I'd be pissed. And like I've seen videos of people and they're mad. I'm like, like relax. But I'm like, no, like what are you talking about? Scott? You'd be so angry. You'd be so pissed.
I've been
Oh my
trying to
god.
do just this one thing for so long. And like that's the
And that
thing about it is there's two
I
things
see
that
the
you do.
clip.
Just a snatch, just a clean jerk. And it's like that
Oh, okay.
one, and you want to get that like 1 kilo PR. That's what
Yeah.
it's like you like it because you're just chasing after that, all the time. But then
Yeah.
it is just so hard to get, PRs once you get to a certain point.
All right. So before we move on to the next thing, I'm going to make you play a little bit of defense. People always make fun of CrossFit and say
Yep.
there's a lot of stuff, but like if
Lots of
the
things.
first rule about CrossFit, you have to tell everyone that you're in CrossFit.
You have to tell
What are
everyone.
do you subscribe to this? Have you just embraced it, or are you like, no way, that's ridiculous?
I have a little different perspective, and this just maybe comes from my personality, but
Sure,
I
sure.
say do whatever you want to do for a long time that's going to be fun for you for a long time, and leave everybody alone about what's fun for them.
Works.
Some people
Yeah.
like walking. Some people like CrossFit. Some people like just the bodybuilding, like gym bro stuff. Like
Yeah.
whatever you're going to be excited about, like for a long time. I know everybody has slumps, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
CrossFit's been the one thing that it's like I can use it to get into shape. I can use it to look a certain way. I can just use it to feel good.
Mhm.
Like feel healthy, and I could just show up and I'm there. I don't think about it till I'm there, and then I'm there for an hour. And once I leave, I don't think about it again.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun. And obviously, with so many years doing it, it's
Mhm.
still entertaining.
A few,
So,
handful.
yeah, just a
Um,
couple.
yeah. So okay. So I really liked. So yeah, take that, haters. Don't yuck her yum.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, hey,
No.
ballet was way worse on my body than CrossFit.
What you say? The Olympic pulling?
ballet,
Oh,
ballet was
ballet.
way
Oh,
worse.
on your feet.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
Knees,
terrible.
hips, yeah, everything.
Yeah, it's a crap out of you. My sister was a dancer for a long time. Not just
Mm.
ballet. She did a bunch of stuff. So like I never saw much ballet. Her big thing was tap.
Okay.
Less brutal on the body, but
Let's do
just
it.
seeing just the point, like, how do you do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but very cool. So I do, before we get into the freight stuff, everybody always has an interesting origin story because either you were born into it or you literally just fall into it. No one's ever like, I want logistics, right?
Yeah.
The age old adage. So you were in catering first, and I've got to hear about this because, like I said pre-show, I grew up in it. My brother actually moved in with me. He's moved to Florida. So he's right now just had an interview today, probably going to end up working at Cassis down in town St. Pete. So it's in my family. My parents had stores. My sister still does it. My brother's in it for the time being before he becomes a firefighter. I used to bartend. So tell me about this catering stuff. It's always
Love
interesting.
it. Yes. And I'll say, like, people in transportation, a lot of people have like hospitality backgrounds, a ton,
Mm-hmm.
a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned I went to school for ballet, for dance.
Mm-hmm.
One semester in, I decided I would love to afford food and a place to stay or something when I
Sure.
graduate. Can't make a lot of money as a dancer. Um, so I started, I was like, what else do I like? You know, I really got into cooking. And I was like, well, I don't want to like drop out and go to like chef school because that doesn't leave you a ton of options. Even though I
Mm-hmm.
like really wanted to go to culinary school.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, at the college I'm at, what do they have? They had hospitality management, and they happened to have like a restaurant focused program at the University of North Texas in Denton.
Mm-hmm.
And so I switched my second semester in and love hospitality. I liked it because it was this like hidden thing. I had the interest in cooking, obviously, but this whole like hidden world, you never think about any of it when you show up to an event. It's just beautiful. The
Mm-hmm.
experience is amazing. Nobody ever thinks about like when they walk into that kitchen door, what the hell's going on back there, right? And I was so
Mess.
curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so curious. And the people, I mean, the people are great in hospitality. So many personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to take care of the guests, maybe not everybody around them. But I loved it. So when I graduated, um, I went straight to American Golf, um, large company. They're pretty big. I think they're number two to like Club Core America,
Okay. Okay.
as far as private club ownerships. And American Golf had some public clubs as well. But I went to one of the facilities here in DFW. I was a catering sales manager out of college, and that's kind of where I got my start. So that was everything but weddings at a golf
Yeah.
course. So
Mm-hmm.
all the extra different like school events or Christmas parties for companies and things. And then I took a short stint as a CrossFit coach, just want to throw it in there. And then
Mm-hmm.
again, I was like, well, I need to make some more money. So I went back to the catering gig.
Yeah.
But I liked it. It's a ton of detail, a ton of planning. The second time I got back into it, it was weddings. So I was managing a wedding facility. Um,
That's tough.
it's very similar to transportation. There's so much
Mm-hmm.
attention to detail. It's the relationship building. It's taking care of people and the customer service. just so many little details. But then you're also doing that with brides, um, which
Bridezillas,
is
yeah.
a different animal. Yeah,
Well,
for
not all
sure.
summer Bridezillas.
Summer brides, for sure.
Yeah, that's so okay. So similarly enough, my sister works at a golf club out in East Hampton, Long Island, and she's the clubhouse manager. So probably a similar role as far as duties and responsibilities. And yeah, they deal with a bunch of weddings as well, and it's wild to me that I was when I worked in the service industry, was at my parents' places, like ringing registers, stocking shelves and stuff,
Right.
and then like bar back bartending. But then like I found out through a couple friends who had texted me and my mom, because he was bartending up on the vineyard this summer, that like everyone's telling me like he's the best. And like I was a good bartender, but like no one ever texted anyone and said I was the best, right? So I'm like, wow, this kid must be pretty good. And he's working like a fancy hotel.
Nice.
And so I'm like, wow, that's really impressive. And then like my sister's like the clubhouse manager at this place, and like you ran these events, and like she's worked at like the Masters, and she's working at the Ryder Cup this weekend, and you manage these employees too. You manage this whole wedding. Like this is somebody's like their day, and it's like that's a lot of pressure, pal. That's all I'm getting at.
Yep. It's definitely a lot of pressure. I just really enjoyed it. I liked the pressure. For my position, I got to do everything leading up to that day. And then that day I stayed until the dinner, like the reception started.
Okay.
That was perfect for me because I stayed there through ceremony, like made sure all the timing and all the setup and everything is going well. And then as soon as they start the reception, I was like, I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, because you're not. It's just keep the booze cold at that point.
Right. There's like timing for toes. It's like, very, very little at that point.
No, absolutely. And then I like how you said that a lot of people in logistics or from the service industry end up in logistics. And I think it's true because whenever, like at this point, whenever I meet somebody who's a broker, it's kind of like that little nod, like you all did that thing and it was nuts for everybody. But like when you are in logistics and you found out they were in hospitality, or you're currently in the brokerage or carrier, and then somebody comes in from hospitality, it's almost like as long as they're not a scumbag, you're like, yeah, they'll be okay. Like we like them because
like I pretty much know you at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, like industry people are nuts, and like if they were like in the kitchen, like you knew they were even crazier. But it's like maybe we don't forget all that. But I've got to hear, because we're all about stories. I've got to hear as I guess as colorful as you're willing to tell a story. Like give us one from the catering one, or if you've got a couple you like to fire off, let's hear it.
Okay, so this one's more funny. I don't know if it's colorful, but we had a rule. They're like wedding facilities. Yeah, like wedding facilities are all about their rules. We had all these these are the things you can't do for your decoration. Yeah. We don't want any freaking glitter. No glitter. You're not throwing glitter or confetti anywhere. Like, please,
I'm
dear
for
Lord,
it.
no.
Get rid of the glitter.
None of it in the facility, please, anywhere. But one of the rules was no candles. Like if you had candles, they had to be below the glass, glass container. Glass. So we still allowed real ones. We were one of the only facilities that allowed real ones, but they had to be in a container below the edge of the container.
Yeah.
So really, really simple rule, guys. You would think. But somebody had on their entry table candles going above, like just no container, whatever. And I looked over and I was like, Fabian, are you gonna let that happen? Like, this is your show now when I leave. What's going on? And he looked at me and he was like, bet me I won't go blow it out. And they're like, so we're like behind, so the ceremony's like off this way. We're standing in this hallway looking at this candle and the ceremony's over here. And I was like, no, you're not gonna go blow it out. And he walks straight over and he goes, walks off. That was just funny. But,
no, I love it because it's like it's just like little ways that I don't know. You gotta have fun with it. Like you have to have fun with ridiculous monotony or the stress or the
pain
in the ass customer if they are one. Like, so
Yep.
you gotta find little like games, little fun in it, like little bets. You won't do this or you won't do that.
Always fun. Yeah, just make it fun. Yeah, and I mean there are other stories of like just,
Mhm.
bridezilla things. One girl like saw the room set up and hated the color of all of the table linens
That she picked.
that she picked, and we had to go change them all. Like this was like people are coming in for the ceremony, and she had gone to see the reception room. She was all excited, and she was like, "I hate, I hate this. This is going to be in all my pictures." And we were like, "Let's make it happen, right?" So
You
everybody was
get what?
running around like, yeah, throwing linens off, like putting, linens back on, and then putting table
Replacement.
like centerpieces back on,
Yeah.
like putting all the
God,
silverware, like all that stuff. So like we reset the whole room in like 15, 20 minutes. It was crazy.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So what, you just found like a bunch of white ones, just threw them on, like this is your option.
Yeah, luckily, yeah, we had like our I forget they call like the off-white.
Yes.
White.
The
Nobody wants
eggshell or whatever.
bright white
Oh,
because
glare.
then the bride's dress doesn't look as white.
Oh,
So
true.
you
Forgot
have to
about
have
that.
your off-white linens. Yep.
Jeez. Yeah, you can't wear that's so that'd be really funny is if like, well, I guess I'm going a little bit left with this, but like I was thinking if somebody actually did just wear white to a wedding just to mess with somebody because they like the jokes like you were talking about earlier, or if somehow like as a catering group, like you could underhand do something that would like mess with the bride, but like she has no like there's no way she could pin it on you or like prove that you were doing it intentionally. But I was just trying to think of like maybe
Just
like
move
one of
her
your
move her glass of water, move her glass of water a foot away from her every time we go set
oh
anything on
she
the
looks
table.
away or yeah oh okay that or like
Yeah. That's like
one
a small
employee's
thing, but then she'd be like, "Oh my God, this is super
right
annoying."
it's like the change in the phone with white on the office.
Yes.
So that was actually one of my such a great prank. Or like if like one employee wore all white, like they like their black pants got ruined. I don't know. It's
Oops.
stupid because then they look ridiculous. Because you need white shoes too. Anyway,
Like, hey, we're
it
at
sounded
Cheesecake
better.
Factory.
Yeah. It sounded right, exactly. It sounded better in my head. But no, the catering stuff. It's like seeing my brother like all excited to have like a bartending job again, and young single kid, and I'm just like remembering that stuff, and I'm like, what a blast it was. Like I used to work in a bar. It was like 10 seats, like 5 tables, and just like you're all on top of each other, and you get so
Yeah.
close with these people, and you're just firing stuff around, doing crazy nonsense for your shift, and then if you've got a good crew, everybody goes out after or sometimes, and shenanigans ensue from there. Those are the stories you keep in the back pocket. But
Exactly.
but so we got so obviously you found your way into logistics. You mentioned on on the form you fill out that you want to not work weekends. So
Yeah.
how'd you fall into this?
Yes. So after the catering gig,
Mhm.
I loved certain things about the job. I had always done like on the sales side, right, all the way up until you know the day of.
Mhm.
So I was like, all right, I'll do sales. I want to
Mhm.
switch industries. I'm tired of working weekends every weekend. That's so exhausting.
Yeah,
I didn't have a family yet or anything, but I was like, I don't want to do it anymore.
it's a lot.
Um, it is, and I just started applying for jobs. And to be fair, like Sun City was one of the only people. At the time, it was like monster.com. Like
Yeah.
LinkedIn, I don't think was a big thing for applying for jobs yet, but
Mhm.
um, Sun City was like the only company that responded to my application at all. And they were
Got a
like,
heartbeat? We'll
yeah,
take it.
yeah. They were like, hey, we're hiring. You looking for a job? So I came in for an interview, and the things I loved about all the previous experience of like just the relationship building, the sales side, the attention to detail, right? The customer service, they were all there. And it kind of
Mhm.
satisfied that like this is also this hidden world. Nobody thinks about how these things happen.
Yep.
Um, that got me. So I caught the bug, and at the interview, I showed up and I had all these questions because I was like, yeah, I've been looking into it and I have all these questions and I'm so curious. And like, obviously they hired me, like, since
Right
we're
then.
here.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. They were like, oh my gosh, you're curious about transportation too? Um, but yeah, I started in entry level sales and had some great leaders there that taught me the sales tactics that actually work, taking time and researching companies, finding something that you have in common with them before you just blindly spray and pray and reach out, took me to an actual truck stop and that's this type, that's this type, this is what this equipment looks like, that's what this they're doing. And
Very
walked in
cool.
and like, yeah, there used to be this like load board here and like talked to me all about that stuff. So I had really, really good training when I first
Awesome.
started. And I told him, I was like, look, I know that I am a little further in my career than what you typically would look for, like straight out of college. But I was like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to learn the industry, I'm going to crush it because I'm great at sales. Like, let's do it. And that's what happened. So it took me a couple months to learn the industry, the lingo, all that.
Yeah.
I studied my butt off trying to make sure I knew what everything was on the phones. And yeah, from there, like, just started crushing it on the sales side. Got some promotions along the way, ended up as a branch manager. So it's a good journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we like came in at like, 5 million, small brokerage. I was their satellite office. They're based in El Paso. I was in DFW. We had
Okay.
like three of us in a little closet talking on phones. And then when I ended up leaving Sun City as a ranch manager, we were at the 50 million mark. So like that whole journey was really fun.
That's
To
so
be
cool.
there and
So
see that growth. Yeah.
you were that clearly a big part of it, especially if you started in sales and became branch manager. You're a big part of that growth. So that's something nice to hang your proverbial hat on, as they
Yeah.
say. So so awesome. So again, let's dig into the being a broker a little bit. What's one of the more memorable phone calls or incidents that you dealt with?
Some good phone calls. One good phone call was when I was cold calling. And for us, we didn't do just like straight cold calls. Again, we researched. I had come up with like, hey, I really love your blank. I really want to learn more about it. Like, whatever, you have time to talk. So I did a cold call. They didn't answer. And I was like, ugh. So I hang up the phone and I'm talking to my coworker and I was like, this sucks. Like, talking about all this stuff. And the phone was not hung up. So this lady got like a 3 to 5 minute voicemail
Diatribe.
of me complaining to my coworker about it being hard to be in brokerage sales. So that was a lot of fun.
How do you know that you left that 3 to 5 minute voicemail? Because it wasn't hung up, or did she call back? Did you get business?
I know it wasn't hung up, and then at the end of the voicemail it says, "Oh shit!" Click. Classic.
How all those emails should end.
Oh no! Oops.
Oh, that is so okay. So I got something that reminded me of one from my days. I was at BG for about 5 years. Again, I've said it a few times. Great people, treated me so well. I learned a ton. And I replied. So you've got the email chain with the customer, a few other coworkers. I completely forget what the topic was. It was something to do with a rate in a situation. Again, there's more than just me in the emails. Either ops was involved, or there was a credit question. So somebody else there. So I replied all, took her out, and basically wrote something that was you could skirt your way around that it wasn't about the customer, but I was definitely complaining about the customer in the email, and I didn't take her out of it.
Yeah.
And she replied back with something that was like upbeat with like an exclamation point at the end. And I'm like, okay, either it went right over her head, hopefully, and like the fact that the way it was written, it could have been like not about, it was ambiguous enough at the time. But like it also, she could have just been like, gotcha. You know? Yeah. Like, gotcha. Because I was something about like cheap or something about inconvenient or annoying. I forget what it was. And I think so. My thing was either she got me or she thinks I was replying and talking to her about the situation and not her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, totally.
so that's the only time.
Totally.
Like, oh.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. I now pivot to a different form of communication, when at all possible. Like if I'm
Yes.
like what the hell? Like I'll just go to Slack and be like,
Yeah.
can you believe these people? You know, like
That's where all the that's smack is talked.
Slack is smack. Yep.
Smack and Slack. So no, I learned that day for sure. And to your point, brought it
So scary.
after that. And I never put them in like if you're on a call like this, I never put it in the private chat of that because I just don't trust it.
Yeah.
Like, still go to the work chat.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Yeah.
So freight broke, and then go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's tons of good stories from the brokerage.
You've got more because one of the things that again
every Thursday
on was you're another day in a brokerage, right? Just another day in a brokerage. You start them. I always click on
another day in a brokerage.
Just another day.
I know. So I started that at the beginning of the year, and it's kind of my throwback Thursday. Mm-hmm. There are just so many good stories, right? Of just the random stuff that happens when you're in transportation, and it's like, I can't believe it just happened, or like, can you believe that? That's just a crazy story. Nobody's ever gonna believe it.
I thought I heard it. Like,
yeah. Just when you thought you'd heard it all. And that's why I always start it with like, it's just another day. It was just another day at the brokerage, right? Just so normal. But yeah, lots of good things. I mean, crazy customer demands and like impossible demands, might I say?
Like flatbed.
Right. Yeah. I need. Let's see. Can't think of any just like off the wall requests that we got. Mainly had to deal with like time constraints. It's like, hey, this picks up at Dallas at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And we need it to deliver in Houston at 8 a.m. And it's like, well, you normally take 2 hours to load. So even if you could just like magic that onto the trailer somehow, ain't gonna happen. So you need to reset that delivery appointment. Mm-hmm. So it was mainly around timing.
Yeah. And did you find that those ridiculous requests came more from the people who shipped a lot, shipped a little, or just across the board?
I'd say across the board. A lot of the people that shipped a little just didn't know. They're like, oh yeah, that does make sense. You know, it's logical. Mm-hmm. But the people that shipped a lot, if they'd have like an emergency or something, it was just, all hands on deck. Okay, get this done now, yesterday.
No, of course. But at least they know typically what it is they need, or like if it's not going to happen on time, why. But they'll still hit you with like, I need this picked up in an hour. It's like, that means I got to find a truck within 30 miles of you who agrees to this, right?
In like 10 minutes. In 10 minutes.
Because well, it's like an hour away. I'm like, for a car with no traffic. But
yes,
crazy
not
stuff.
At 5 p.m. on a Friday. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good ones. I think one of the ones where it's like the customer just seemed like they were just testing us, and nothing ever came of it after this. It was picked up a flatbed shipment out of the DFW area going to El Paso, and it was a regular lane of ours. Yeah. Luckily, one of our like almost like leased on owner operators, right? They only operated for us. Mm-hmm. They got out past, I'll call it civilization.
Like Merkel and West?
Like past Midland, Odessa area, between there and El Paso, there's nothing. Like nothing at all.
Okay. I gotta check this out.
Yeah. Like Midland, Odessa area to El Paso.
Yeah, just nothing.
Pretty much nothing there.
Oh yeah. Okay, so once you get Midland, okay, you're thinking more
out in the
north.
Middle, middle of nowhere. Yeah. They had stopped. There is a gas station out there. I know that. They're stopped
one
to fuel up. There's one gas station probably, but
I-10 just
they went back. Went back to the truck. and their bags wouldn't inflate. So like obviously lift the trailer in order to haul whatever. And all this material is has to be there next morning. When we shipped it, it was all next day. Because it was something that was crossing into Juarez and on the production line that day, and going to turn it around, bring it back to El Paso the next day, right?
Right.
So they get stuck out there. I know there's nothing out there, and these guys, they have like 3 trucks all together, and I think it's like a dad and 2 sons. So there's such a great carrier, and they're like, we're sending so and so. He's going to just bring power unit, and he's just going to connect and take it, whatever. Because at that point, I don't think they knew exactly what was wrong. They just knew something's wrong. It's not working. So the other unit gets out there, and they finally are trying to, switch the power units. That's when I think they discovered like it's the airbag. So in that case, like they can't inflate them to even get it off of the other unit to get the other unit in there. Yeah. And like this whole time, mind you, as soon as we know about something, like we're communicating ETAs throughout the night to these guys. As soon as we know something's going on, hey, this is happening. We're going to see if we can send another unit. Like we're communicating like in sync with the carriers, and sending that on to the customer.
And all you can do, hopefully it was a good customer.
All you can do. Well, so then after we did finally get the load delivered, right, it required some things to be fixed, and for it to get there, there's nothing that I can do to get it there. Like it will not disconnect from the other one. We've tried to send another power unit, but I get a call from like this is the guy I talked to, and this was like this guy calls like, transportation. The customer, the shipper. So he calls, and it's like he's just asking me questions. He's like, do you think that you did everything that you could in order to get this load there? And I was like, absolutely. Like, I was like, how many of your other brokers would send another power unit to try to just repower the load and be able to do a trailer exchange, like all this stuff in order to get it there? I was like, absolutely, I'll stand behind it. And then the call ended with pretty much like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what would you have done if I said, nah, no, I don't think we tried very hard. Like we just let it sit, and we didn't really tell you guys anything. And would you have been
I have a strict 9:30 bedtime, pal.
I know. So it just never went anywhere, because the end of the call was, okay, you did everything you could. And I was like, thanks.
And it's almost like, were you hoping for me to just come up with something else, or were you just accepting of it? You just needed to hear it, which is fair, right?
Right.
Like, did
and
you
maybe
do everything?
This guy wasn't involved. He just wanted to hear the whole story and decide if we were good human beings or not.
Yeah, exactly. Do they deserve to live? Okay, so before we get rolling, first tell me about Navix, because I know obviously we got to tell people about this awesome company, best kept secret in OCR and other things.
Best kept secret.
So let's hear about that, and then we got to wrap with what I'm just going to call your favorite logistics story, which is how the fam started. It might not be your favorite logistics story, I don't know, but we got to hear it. So tell me about Navix first, and then we'll wrap on the high note with
story. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll brainstorm. Navix, we are AI powered freight audit automation.
We like it.
A lot of words. So anything that has to deal with collecting any sort of paperwork, from invoice, POD, supporting paperwork, all that good stuff. On the front end, we always think about getting the best rate and how many loads can we book and making sure our margins are good. Nobody ever thinks about how that paperwork turns into invoicing your customer.
Right.
So that's where we sit, is from collecting that paperwork, that whole entire audit process to make sure I'm ready to invoice my customer. So I have maybe supporting documents, or certain fields are completed in the TMS, right? Anything that you would need to say, I'm ready to invoice my customer, and I'm also paying the right person the right amount. So that whole AP and AR audit. We have a lot of cool things behind the scenes. We are the only company out there that is auditing both AP and AR. So saying, am I ready to invoice my customer? Which our customers see a direct impact to their cash flow.
Very
Not a
nice.
single one of our customers doesn't see at least a 3-day reduction in like days to bill. That
That's
could
huge.
be millions of dollars
Yeah, it's a
of
lot.
cash flow.
That's a big difference. Yeah, yeah.
Big difference. And the hard cost savings that we bring is just the amount of time saved from auditing. So again, I say a lot of cool techie things, but we can definitely get in more into the details. We have the whole AI machine learning thing, natural language processing working to automatically classify the documents, pull off all of those details. And then we have these really, really flexible business rules that you can set up to say, here's what I want in general, but this shipper, this guy, if we pick up at this location, I need a scale ticket, right?
Right.
All those different things, right? If I add detention on this side, I also need to charge my customer for it.
Right.
So all of the things like transportation, there's so many. I luckily, I'll say, because the job is hard. I was never an auditor, but as a branch manager, I would deal with like the escalations of we don't have this required paperwork or we need this, try to go get it from the carriers. So it's a big pain in the butt. And we're automating it and we're making it to where those auditors can have some quality of life. They can actually work on things that are worth their time and not just, save a bunch of PDFs onto their screen every day.
Yeah, so there you go. There's that ROI. As an auditor, if you weren't slogging through all these bills and these other things you got to get, what could you be doing? What would you rather be doing? Enter Navix.
Making money for the company.
Making money. Not just fat rippies from the reps. We got to get those auditors happy too. Love it. Love it. So, yeah, so shout out Navix. So yeah, let's hear that LinkedIn story. Either the one about how the family started, you know what I mean? I don't want to bury the lead. Or one of your choosing. I'll leave that up to you. Do you want to tell the wholesome one? Or do you want to, tell one of dealer's choice?
I'll say it's wholesome. It has twists, it has turns, unexpected ending.
What?
So it was just another day in a brokerage. I believe I had not even stepped away from my desk to use the restroom, reheat my coffee, heat up the lunch. It was one of those days where answering an email, the phone rings, and then it's the post-it note because I don't have time to go into the TMS and do it, right? One of those mornings had happened.
Yeah.
It's like 8 a.m. And I get a call. We have some loads picking up I like to use the DFW ones, but load picking up in DFW, going down to Houston. It was appliances, so washers, dryers, fridges, floor loaded stuff. Straight truck, white glove, lift gate, all the goods.
All the fancy.
So I get a call from a driver, and they're like, well, the truck is broken down. And I'm like, okay, where are you at? And they were about halfway between DFW and Houston. I'm like, okay, well, there's not like a ton out there, but he's like, I was able to throw it into limp mode and I drove it 40 miles an hour all the way into this shop. So he was at least out of shop. Yeah. Didn't have to hire like a tow truck to get there. So that's great. Whenever you're able to do that, it saves like a ton of money. So get that call. I'm like, all right. I call obviously the customer, the shipper.
Of course. Naturally.
And this is what's going on. They're like, these have to be delivered today. They have to be delivered today. And it's noon. They're halfway between Dallas and Houston. They have to be delivered into Houston by 4 p.m. because they have their final delivery to their customers from that appliance warehouse going out tonight. So no pressure. I was like, let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think there were, again, maybe like washers, dryers, TV, like really large TVs that you would consider like wall mounted and all that. So, I started calling around and Um, I'm like, okay, I think I found a truck. I'm basically going to pay him DFW to Houston because there's nobody's halfway between.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will meet you there and I will help you guys transload. I was like, we've transloaded like straight trucks before.
I
It's
do
not fun.
CrossFit, guys. I do CrossFit and
I do
lift
CrossFit.
lifts. I'll help.
Like, I will drive down. I will help you because we have to do it in a certain time because it has to make it, and these can't get
Yeah.
damaged. Like all the good stuff, right? White glove. Worst case scenario, not just
You
pallets
have a
and
pair
stuff.
of
So
white gloves. Yeah.
I know. So I'm like in the car driving. I still didn't heat up the lunch, I don't think, but I'm in the car, I'm driving. I'm like, okay, like, where's this truck stop? Looked it up, and okay. So I finally get there, waiting there with the driver. He's kind of cute, and I'm like, hey, just kind of talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this is a really weird thing, and I know you drive for us a lot, and he's actually one of our owner operators.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get to the truck stop, we're just waiting. The white knight appears, the white straight truck drives into the parking lot, the birds sing.
Yes.
And so the driver that was already there that runs with us a lot, like he was helping the guy, like they had to back up butt to butt, right? And then you gotta do some lift gate action so that you can actually walk in between. So they get all that figured out and they start like transloading and I'm helping. They were doing a lot of it, not gonna lie. But this is in the summertime. I was managing the transload. So this is the summertime and it is Texas and it's very hot. And so we finish up, we're drenched in sweat, and we send the guy on his way, slap the back of the truck. I call the customer. I was keeping him updated with texts, but called him, yep, the truck's on the way. He should make it on time.
Stay open in case he's not.
Anything insane happening on the way. Not that this was insane enough. He should make it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking at the driver, and he had obviously come from Dallas, run for us a lot, and I was like, "Do you want to go get some food?"
Brown chicken, brown cow. Yep.
I want to buy you a meal for doing this for us. Yeah, and that driver is now my husband. Father
Here we are talking about it.
Yeah,
and 3 kiddos, right?
3 kiddos. 3 kiddos later, here we are.
Woo-hoo. Congrats. That is a very cool story. Yeah, that's like a movie, kind of bit of a movie setting.
It's a movie.
Not some year. Pretty cool. That's awesome.
You never know when you're going to meet people. Like we always say, like if we had to go and like try to meet people now, how hard would that be? And I'm like, well, I meant you driving a truck, so.
Yeah, and
you never know.
Funny, it's and it's kind of like when we try. And we could go on a whole nother episode on this, but it's like when you try to look for something and hey, like the apps work for some people, right? But for me, it's just like I tried. I'm like, this is like another sales job. So it's I'm not married yet, but I have met the gal who is the one. So
no pressure.
Yeah, she's Puerto Rican. I've told her, so it's like I'm just in now. There's no leaving.
Yeah.
So it's great, and it's And we met through a mutual friend, right? So it's just kind of happens. And that friend even knew how much of a nightmare I was. And she was like, my friend's cool. I was like, all right. But no, that's a great story. I love hearing funny stuff like that. I'm a total softy at heart. So I love cool stories and hearing people who you just met in a cool situation. Now they got family and stuff. But I meant to bring it up earlier and then get into some of the driver stuff because I know you guys have ran some loads together. But I know we're coming up on the hour. Unless there's something you want to fire off quick, I'll wrap up and we'll let you get back to the kiddos and the hubby.
I mean, the most fun stories are and maybe like search my posts because it's every Thursday. But
there you go, Ashley Smith post.
Yeah, pallets of tea leaves at around 8 or 9 p.m. at an LTL dock that just let us walk in there after hours and back my husband's truck up and just get it, even though it wasn't quite even with their dock, which was crazy too. And they're just letting us walk around in the the LTL like hub. And sure, I'll just walk around this cross dock and don't run over me with forklifts, by the way.
Feels okay.
Totally safe. Yeah. And then the other one, the racks of
Yes.
herbs. Yes.
Herbs. Yeah.
So picking up pretty close here, but like 4 a.m. to like around 8 or 9 p.m. I was like, sure, of course, shipper, let's try a 20 drop load, like no biggie.
I know the
And so
driver. It'll be fun.
it's like the entirety of Texas. And I was like, I'm never doing that to anybody ever again. And
Did you get
yeah,
lucky with all the deliveries working out? Okay.
we did make all the deliveries, and it was the day before Thanksgiving, so it's like we had to, and they're live herbs. They can't just sit in the car for like, or sit in the
Oh, they
truck for
weren't
another
like.
2 days. No, they're like
Oh,
plants,
I thought they were like
racks
in
of
the
plants.
yeah, like literally like.
No, not dried. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they had
Wow.
to be, and that's why they picked up so early all the time, is because in Texas, like they needed them delivered before like 10
Or
or
is
11
really
a.m. But
hot.
with 20 drops, they saved some money. So being
Yeah.
that close to Thanksgiving, it wasn't like 90 degrees.
Right. No, that's a very cool one too. So no, I appreciate you sharing all that. We got stories about exercise, catering, brokerage, carrier, how she met the love of her life. Lots of good stuff. And Navix, we talked about Navix too. So shout out Navix. Ashley, before I sign off, where can people find you? We mentioned LinkedIn, anywhere else, or any other shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, so LinkedIn is pretty much where you can find a lot about everything that I like. That's what I post
Cool.
about. But for shows, if you want to maybe see me in person and learn more about Navix or just chat about trucking,
There you
yeah,
go.
we're going to McLeod this week. I know, close your ears. We're going to McLeod
Hey,
Companies this week.
you know,
Senator.
you
It's a
can't win them
show.
all, but I love taking deals from everybody. Talk about whoever you want.
The McLeod will be at TIA Technovations.
Mm-hmm.
We will be
BCS.
town in town for F3. I'm not going to say if we're there or not.
All right, it
We'll
was
be in
very mysterious.
Chattanooga.
Very
We're
mysterious.
always in Chattanooga during that time. I don't know if we'll be at the show.
All right, all right. I love the Nougat show. Love me the Nougat show. Only been once. I
Mhm.
won't be at Technovations. I'll be at BCS. I always tell them
Mhm.
I want to go to all the fun stuff. I'm the most tenured. Send me the stuff I want. But whatever.
You get to
I get a lot
choose,
of what
yeah.
I want. Yeah. I get a lot of what I want, so I can't complain too much. So, no, actually, really appreciate you coming on. It was a blast. I think, again, I say this with a lot of our guests, but I really think like we could have another episode. Like, there's so much we could talk about. We could just go like straight, like stories in the truck with your husband. We could go straight, like brokerage stuff. We could go,
Mhm.
rabbit hole about Navix, rabbit hole about catering and industry stories. But
Yeah.
no, it was awesome. It was nice to get the variety, learn about you a little bit myself, and for everyone who's checking us out. So to everyone listening, please be sure to check us out every other Tuesday at What's Domiciled on YouTube and Spotify for the full eppies, and YouTube and Instagram for the reels. I've been getting better about the reels. I've been posting those. I got to put some more up. I've learned, scheduling tool helps. But anyways, we really appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.